Welcome back to episode 3 of Founder's Story of OHS Safe Notes. Well, so now many people might be thinking, Dane, why didn't you just use a voice recorder or transcribing app that is already out there in the marketplace? And my thinking was this year, that I would like to build something that is specific to OHS. I mean, because OHS has got their own language, so to speak, and we've got our terminologies, we've got our legislations, all those sorts of things. I mean, if we think back to 2020 with COVID, for example, everybody around the world now knew what PPE was, right? I mean, but we were preaching the PPE gospel for years. So we've got our acronyms, we've got our, just our own nuances. And so in my mind, I thought that I would like to build something that spoke our language, that understood our language, and that could really add value to an OHS professional. So I wanted to build something that when it was transcribed, or if you were in the dashboard of this particular app, you could see various things. There could be various reports that you could pull up, and so you can actually in real time measure and see what you've been discussing in your meetings. Does it make sense? I wanted to build something that was intelligent, in the sense that it could, for example, if a company has got a safety officer, right? And the safety officer maybe the safety officer is not very experienced. I wanted to build something that was so smart that it would enhance that safety officer's capability to make decisions, right? And so I wanted AI to really add value to my app that I wanted to build. Because I was now really getting into the build, into the idea. I was spending a lot of time with my agent, my AI agent, brainstorming things, reading through things, thinking about things, documenting things, just building on paper first, like a sequence flow, all those sorts of things. So there's lots that went into the build itself. And so eventually I had clarity. I had clarity, and I was thinking, what if safety meetings could basically just document themselves? Problem solved, right? Problem solved. And that is what I wanted to create. I wanted to build that app that could basically document the safety meeting, give you your minutes immediately after the meeting, go and close all the gaps, and everybody's happy. Gaps are closed. And that is something that is, in my mind, is a real world problem. It is a real world problem. So I wanted something that was clean. I wanted an app that was appealing. I wanted it to be user-friendly. I didn't want it to be intimidating at all. I wanted it to record accurately. I wanted it to convey the message as it was spoken in the meeting, and not make up its own story, right? Because sometimes AI can do that. I wanted it to go as far as auto-assigning actions as well. I wanted it to be able to create reports for the user. I wanted it to have a dashboard where you could actually see what are your highest risks that were discussed, like over the last couple of months. You understand? So that you could almost like profile. You could look at a graph and you can see this is a profile of our company's risks. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so that was my thinking, and that is the product that I wanted to build. because I knew it would add value. That is something that I would have wanted when I was a risk manager way back for SA Breweries. So that is what I really wanted to build. And so now I needed to take my ideas, and I needed now to start building. I needed to start the building process. I didn't know how long that was going to take, but I just knew that I was motivated. I'm still sorry, man. I really wish that I had validated first, and shared this with the world, because I think that I would have got so many ideas from you guys, OHS professionals that are in the field right now. But it's not too late. It's not too late. The thing is this here with my app that I've built, it is built already. My app that I've built, I can iterate. I can go back and I can make changes. I can make it better, add things, take things out. You understand? And so next week, I'm going to share more about that with you. How the build went, and then also just introduce you then to the app itself. I'm going to take you into the app. I want to show you what this app can do, etc. And then we can see, maybe you can give me some ideas in the comments, put some ideas, and tell me what you think this app needs. You understand? So that I can make changes, I can iterate, like I said. And I really love the build. I seriously, I really love the build. And something else that I built before OHS Safe Notes is, I call it, I can't play bingo, right? I've never ever played bingo in my life. But I just found the idea. I was also doing research for a product. And one of the ideas that I got was to build what's called incident bingo, right? So basically, you would have the game like bingo, right? I don't know if you know bingo, but I've learned a bit more about bingo since I started building this thing. So basically with bingo, you get a card, you get a card. So you've got to have three. You've got to have your things in horizontally. You can have it vertically, or you can have it diagonally as well. Okay, things that match, right? And I thought, oh, that's so cool, because if you think about it, if you give your she reps, even your staff members, if you really want to create awareness, this is a brilliant thing. If you want to create awareness, is give them incident bingo. You can print it out to them, give it to them, and as they're walking around, they're now becoming aware of incidents, right? They're now looking for hazards that can obviously lead to incidents, right? They're looking for those hazards and they're checking their bingo card. Oh, yeah, I found oil that is spilled on the ground. They mark it off. They find the next thing. And obviously the first one that gets all his things in a row, is obviously the winner, earns bragging rights. But that was the one I built before I built OHS Safe Notes. So maybe in the next episode, I'm going to show you incident bingo, where the ideas really started rummaging through my mind. My mind is very busy. Where the idea really started taking shape in my mind, building. I wanted to build this thing. And that was the first version that I built of something for the OHS professions. I haven't released that one to the public yet. So I think what I'm going to do next episode, I'm going to show you how this thing works, and then I'm going to give you access to incident bingo, free of charge. Get access to incident bingo so that you can start playing around with it. Give me feedback. Maybe I can build incident bingo for your industry, whatever industry you're in, or maybe you say, Dane, why don't you do it this way? Why did you do it in this way? You understand? So that I can iterate, because now I'm getting real world feedback from the users, and then we can see how we can change this. Because for me to change it, it's not a problem. I built it. I've got access to the back end. I know how to change it, how to bring about changes and edits and all those sorts of things. So now I can make changes to it that will suit the market. And so you can play around with incident bingo and tell me what you think. So in the next episode, episode 4, episode 4, I'm going to give you access to incident bingo. And this was now the first build that I did. Before I built OHS Safe Notes, I built incident bingo, which was version 1. And then from there, my ideas evolved into OHS Safe Notes. So next episode, I'm going to show you incident bingo, and then I'm going to give you access to it as well. Thank you so much for your time once again. Really appreciate it.